you saw in the movies and decided to burn down a person's sweat, blood, and hard work of countless years in the supermarkets. We'll talk about that on this hour. Good afternoon. Welcome to the sunny side on 92.3 Nigeria Info. This is your number one talk, news, and sports radio station here in Port Harcourt. And I obviously will be your host for the next 2+ hours. I'll be out of here at 3. Well, in the meantime, we're going to have interesting conversations on the show today. We get a kickstart with the story of the 9-year-old girl who set a supermarket on fire. Interesting, and quite the thing, I must say. Very daring, bold girl. And 1 o'clock, the news update. It's Tuesday. On Tuesdays, we get to look into the life in that experience at 1:30. At 2 p.m., the news updates. And we're going to talk epidemiology right after the news update at 2. I'll be joined by guests who will help us understand all there is to know about epidemiology on that hour. All right, let's jump right into our conversation for today. A 9-year-old girl has been identified as the brains behind Ibano grocery store in Abuja that was burnt down to ashes and dean powder. Now, this store is in the local Goma field of Abuja. It burned to the ground on Saturday, the 17th of July, with goods valued worth billions of naira that were destroyed in that raging inferno. And earlier on that day, footage of the lady starting a hearth in the gasoline cylinder part of the supermarket emerged, and the fire unfolded on Saturday at the supermarket and prompted quite the destruction. And this girl, to pay attention to what she was saying in the video, she obviously didn't. According to her, she saw it in movies. She saw it as she's seen in her movie, in that movie. I think I should look for that video and play that for you. Perhaps you haven't seen that video. So first, there was a CCTV footage that was released and said, "Oh, this is a perpetrator." The video showed the girl when she was, setting the supermarket on fire. She literally walked to the, to that section of the supermarket where the gas cylinders were, lined up on the pew, and she had a lighter on her in her hands, and she looked at. She knew what she was doing because she actually, in the video, you could see her looking around for anyone who was gonna see her or pay attention to what she was trying to do. And when one person was passing, she quickly, put her hands down like she was up to nothing. And as soon as the person passed, she went out to trying to set the lighter on. And when it did, she lit it, threw it in there, and briskly walked away. So I'm going to look for that video of her confession. If I could call it that, really. Can I call it a confession? When she was asked thoroughly, why did you do that? Who did you come into the supermarket? She said, oh, she came with her mom. Why did you do that? She said, nothing. She didn't know. So this is a section of the footage. I'm going to quickly play that for you to hear. So I hope you can hear it. I'm just going to play it off my phone right now.
9-year-old born a goods of 5 billion naira. How do you start paying? The law will not allow you to detain how you can detain.
Who took you to that place?
All right. So you could hear her say her mom, and network is a little poor right now, but I'll try to get to the other part of that video. But I mean, I don't know how I want to feel about this. I really don't know. This is a 9-year-old girl. A 9-year-old child sets an entire supermarket on fire. I don't know what to think. Of course, like you heard on the video, the law does not permit for an underage to be prosecuted or arrested, or sentenced to jail. Of course, there's juvenile, if that is even functioning right now in Nigeria. I don't know if that is functioning. There's supposed to be that for, criminal offenses committed by underage, under 18, that is. But I don't know if that applies in Nigeria. But, that is that. There you go. Lots of questions in my head, lots of emotions. Just, I don't even know which to, find expression right now. But I'd like to hear from you. It's 12:30. What do you think should be punishment for this 9-year-old girl who set the mall on fire? I was having this conversation with someone this morning, and funny enough, the person said, if I were the one, I would have her mother arrested. Because how can a mother allow her 9-year-old child, just wander away to another part of the supermarket without my monitoring eyes, So I would hold the mother accountable, arrest her in her place or something. But I'd like to hear what you think. What do you think should be done to this 9-year-old girl? What should be the appropriate punishment for her? What action would you take as the owner of that supermarket? So your business, probably you've been building that business for 5-6 years. It was quite a big supermarket, in Abuja. All of your years of hard work gone down the drain. What action would you take as the owner of the supermarket to realize that your business has gone by the hands of a 9-year-old child who did not even know why she was doing what she was doing? And a final question, what position would you take as the parents of this child? If you were this girl's mother or her father, what position would you take at this time? Difficult questions, I must say. I don't even know what I would do if I were her mother. I honestly don't know, but I'd like to hear from you. The phone lines are open, so let's talk. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. You can also call 0817-923-0007, and the female caller line 0817-923-0009. On WhatsApp, it's 0809-030-6416. We are also streaming live on Facebook, so you can go on Facebook to join the conversation at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. You can watch us as you drop your comments. What do you think? I'm going to play the latter part of that conversation so you get to hear from the horse's mouth herself why she did what she did. But I'd like to hear from you first, so let's talk. Good afternoon. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm calling you from Ada George area of Port Harcourt. I'm Friday by name.
Go ahead.
All right. In line with the conversation about the 9-year-old girl, I think I look at it from a spiritual point of view.
Wow.
It may be that girl is possessed somehow.
Wow.
And that is why parents, yes, sometimes things doesn't just happen ordinarily. But apart from the carelessness of the parents, of the mother who took her to the supermarket and they left her wandered away from her, I think there is something fishy. Either that girl was somehow possessed, if I may say, and she has caused a lot of damages, and there's nothing that could be done to her. And so, on my part, I would just sympathize with the owner of the supermarket, and then they should be very careful with the way we do things in this country. So that's my opinion. And then, as well, what exactly? In fact, I'm just speechless when I heard this. Setting somebody's business ablaze, worth billions of naira. So it's unfair. It's unfair. The mother cannot afford to pay the owner of that supermarket. It's a complete loss. I sympathize with the owner of that supermarket. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. Good afternoon. Hello. Oh dear, lost it as well. Do all to call back. We've got quite a number of comments on Facebook. You can join in there and also share your thoughts at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. You can want on there. Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is my sister.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my name is Edwin. I'm calling from Orazi.
Go ahead.
My sister, first, the questions you're asking is not where I want to start my own. I saw that video when a friend sent it to me yesterday. That girl was not acting like a 9-year-old girl. I don't know if other persons have seen the video. After she put on the fire, the first light not come up.
Yeah.
Someone was passing like right this section. It came up. She waited. There was a kind of path in front of it. A candlelight something or something. After she put the fire on, if you notice, she went down to stand and be confirming that the fire is actually.
Yeah, she was quite intentional about what she was doing. I agree.
Yes. She went down the other side of the chair, confirmed that it started coming up. A guy passed to me. He's telling me the 9-year-old girl. No, they need to call the girl. That girl is, I think she's not working alone. If you know that supermarket is not just a supermarket that is just. Every supermarket is quite big. And probably the business section. How come she was particular to go to the gas section that will know that that's the easiest way to bring down that supermarket? Is there a 9-year-old that know that as big as the supermarket, the only place to lit fire that will cause a lot of havoc in a short while will be at the gas section? Secondly, I work where we have CCTV, and we have close to 5 persons that is constantly in one of the CCTV guys doing.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Did they actually have people manning the CCTV monitors? I don't think so.
They are supposed to. The CCTV has its own room. Yeah, but we have CCTV. It has its own room. They have the camera guys that always, you take this string, I take this string. You keep on, you hold your back. That's their job. If they have it, they can release that footage this easily and sharp. How come is there nobody in the CCTV room? Because the first guy that saw when the orange color cylinder is not there came there.
There are no monitoring room. Or, well, that's what it looked like. Because, again, if you have people manning the monitoring room who can, oversee the going in and coming out of that supermarket real time, I think that they could have been able to even catch her while she was at it. But apparently, there was nobody manning the monitoring room. So when something, that's why I keep saying, we're so much of a reactive people in these parts of the world more than a proactive people. So rather than pay 4 or 5 people 50,000 naira per month, their sole responsibility, their job is to come to work in the morning, sit in front of those monitors and watch people come in and go out of the supermarket every day of the week. That is your job, and you get paid a certain amount. I think that whatever costs their salaries would have amounted to in a year would have been far less than all the monies that have been lost by the loss of that supermarket right now. So I mean, there's just so much to think about. I know a certain mall in Port Harcourt. I don't know if it's like that for other malls, but I've really noticed that in one certain mall in Port Harcourt, they have security men on every pew, every single lane in the supermarket. They have security men. So when you come in and you're shopping, maybe at the perfume section or the toiletry section, there's a security man looking at you. They never fail, and that is amazing. Now imagine if they had security men on each pew in that supermarket. This would not have happened. But let's take other calls. We've got so many people waiting on the line. I don't know if Chris is still here. Chris from Auxiliary, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good day.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me talk about this. At times, if they would do the investigation properly, start with where the girl from, where the mother from, the owner of the supermarket, where is he from or is she from? Then you now know if that lady, there is something we call envy. Some people can because of envy. They go extra length to destroy their business. I watched when they were asking that girl. That girl is not acting as if somebody sent that girl. So that's a mission. That's an expensive from people that don't have, maybe they have somehow problems going on that shop. Or they are jealous about the owner of that shop. So they should start the investigation. The woman, is she from where? The girl, is she from where? The owner of the shop, where is he from or she from? They now get the picture. That girl cannot have that knowledge. Even if it's something that she watched from movies, going to act that kind of this thing, checking, the girl knows what is good and what is bad. If you notice what the girl was doing, she knows that what she's doing is bad. That is why when she does now, she go back and check if some people are coming. So somebody wrote that script for that girl and asked that girl to do that on behalf of him or her. So that girl, I don't think that girl is a 9 years old. They should interrogate that girl very well.
It's terrible.
They
It's really hard
tell
to
them
believe.
who sent her to go and do that kind of a thing here. By being envy and the jealous of the owner of that business. That's what I have to say. They should carry thorough investigation from that girl. Someone sent that girl. Either the mother or the family or somebody somebody contract that girl to go and do that job. I think it's just to envy somebody's business. You want to bring that person down. They should investigate that girl very well.
All right, Chris, thank you so much for that. Mufasa is calling from D-Line. Good afternoon.
Yeah, hi, Gabby. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I may want to agree with some of the callers who have said that that is beyond what the guest saw on the movie. I was also privy to that video. I saw that video and I felt that that action was premeditated. I also believe that that girl did not act alone. I mean, you can see how she was, doing it in a very, clever way, trying to see if, people were watching her. So, there's one other video that I also saw when the fire has already engulfed the building, when the girl came out to meet, I don't know if it's her mom and her sister. It's as if they were all in this matter together because they were smiling, as if they knew that the girl was going to set the place ablaze, or they sent that 9-year-old to set that place ablaze. So I do not believe that it's what she saw on the television screen and she just wants to put it to practice. And then again, Gabby, you see, this issue of CCTV, it has to be taken serious. I mean, it will serve as a lesson. CCTV cameras are not for fancy. It's not for you to show that you have the capacity to have it installed in your facility. It is meant to also provide security. What if somewhere somebody was killed right inside the supermarket?
Right.
I are bringing the video after the action has been committed. To me, the people who were employed to man that camera should be prosecuted because your responsibility is to ensure that crimes like this do not happen. That is why you have CCTV camera. It's not for you to bring the footage out when the act has been committed. But conclusively, I think that girl did not act alone. Both the mom and the lady that accompanied the both to the supermarket, they should be questioned. Thank you very much.
Mufasa. Thank you so much. Let's speak to Clement. Oh dear. Apologies, Clement. Too well to call back. Chimboma is calling from Diobo. Good afternoon.
Yes, Gabby, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You see, the devil all the time. Devil moves to and fro, looking for whom to devour. This devil also has to be dealt with. If the devil is aware that you are prepared for him, I think the devil too will take precaution too now.
Abio.
Yes, now. So to me, what I see about the whole thing is that they should hold the parents of the child. They should go and sell their land in the village. All the properties they have, they should sell it and pay for it. So that they will deal with the devil that possesses the child also. And then they should quickly, if I be the parents of the child also, they just to go and take the child to where they will deliver the child. Conduct a thorough deliverance service. A thorough deliverance section on the child. If it takes 70-something pastors, you have to do it.
Okay.
Hello.
All right, Chimbroma. Thank you very much.
That's what I feel about it. My name is Chimbroma.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for your thoughts. Godfrey is on the line from Old GRA. Good afternoon, Godfrey. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, man.
Good afternoon.
So I listened to the conversation. I think when things like these happen, there are so many things you need to root out to. Now, firstly, I want to say the person who took that video record, what was the person doing?
What do you mean by video record?
It just feels like it's a drama or true.
What do you mean by video record? You mean the CCTV footage?
Hello?
You mean the CCTV footage?
I mean, there are people who were monitoring it.
It's
and
CCTV.
At that time too, I know that somebody is behind there.
It's CCTV,
so
Godfrey.
Hello?
It's CCTV. It wasn't someone holding a phone recorded.
Yeah, I know it's CCTV, and the CCTV, I think it has a system and somebody is in charge.
That's the
So,
thing.
that is-
Maybe there was
that-
nobody manning the monitors.
That is what I'm saying. Either the person left the duty post for something else, and then secondly, there is a question I want to ask, and people should just root it out. Let's just give it a consideration. Now, okay, this girl, I watched the video. She set this thing on fire, and when the fire was escalating, I didn't know people there. So, because the damages, what to the extent was the damage? So these things are things you need to look out for, but honestly, it's demoralizing.
All right. Clement is back from Aquarium Road. Good afternoon, Clement.
Hi, good afternoon, Debbie.
Good afternoon.
Let me start with the CCTV.
Okay.
I have visited a lot of offices, and I have discovered that it is the owners of the business that man the CCTV cameras. And if you ask me, most of what they're looking for is what their staffs will steal, and not what somebody else will come from outside to come and do. That is why they mount the CCTV. Secondly, is to dodge maybe, let's say we are in Port Harcourt now, to dodge a tax force, Obiakpo, and all that. Oga no day. Meanwhile, Oga they watch on CCTV or debtors. That is what they do with it. So they don't used to employ people
who would monitor
to fix their eyes exactly on the screen. They do it themselves and all that. So perhaps maybe he might just want to ease himself, or maybe be carried away discussing or something like that, and something could happen. It is the replay that they now watch later after close hours to see what has happened. So that is what most of them do with the CCTV, and you will not blame them now. That is the Nigerian factor. So there is another video. I think somebody was talking about it. When they were outside, there were 3 that walked into that shopping mall. There were 3 of them. Now, I think there is an older woman that was holding her hand when the fire service was coming in. Then the other person was walking behind. The other person later went back, stood. There is an expression on her face. Maybe you can get that video to see it again. So that little girl did not do that thing on her own. Somebody directed her to do it. And of course, children now. We listen to when Dennis do the spell check here. You see parents who spell for children, and when they ask them, they will say, "Nobody spell for me. Or you have spell it on your own again now." They will say they cannot spell it again. So it's somehow when children and parents are behaving like this in a society like this, what do you expect? That's the country we find ourselves, and well, the parents should pay for it. That's for me. If my child did it, honestly, arrest me.
Okay.
Arrest me.
All right. Clement, thank you so much for your thoughts. God Spy is calling from Artillery. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. So, we should not just rule out completely what that girl said. If she is 9 years old, unless she is not 9 years old, but if she's 9 years old, let us not rule out completely what she said. There was a time in the U.S. a boy pulled the trigger of a gun on the mom. The boy was asked, "Why did you do this?" He said he didn't know she would die because he has been watching in
the movies
how they will pull trigger, shoot somebody, and the person will pretend that nothing has even happened. So we should not do that completely. Parents should endeavor to know what their children watch. They should put their eyes very well, put their eyes to the ground, know what their children watch. Violent movies, they should stop them from watching. And another thing I want to point out is that sometimes we do things penny-wise, kobo foolish. Of what need is it to man CCTV without somebody monitoring it? I don't think the person even put somebody to monitor it, because in some places what they do is that they will put CCTV, and when something has happened, that is when they will play to know
the people involved, the person involved, or people involved in the crime. So we should learn to be proactive, not reactive.
Reactive, absolutely. Well, Martin Chado says, first, the girl is a minor, then her guardian should be held accountable. That's why they're called guardians. On the contrary, if the mall had a CCTV monitoring personnel, it would not have happened. In this country, we have CCTVs in business places, but the monitor will be set up in the MD's office, who may not always be around. True. Good afternoon. This country now, wow. Okay, that's over this conversation. Suki Fabar from Port Harcourt says, crazy things happening. Adults got a lot to do to watch and monitor their kids. There are lots of parents who are too busy. We need to watch, monitor, check and recheck our kids. Bob is on the line from Bayelsa. Oh, sadly, I lost Bob's call. Please call back. Also lost Ubong's call from Oji. Please call back. This person says very possessed child, and someone will say nothing like deliverance. Just imagine the huge destruction of assets. She shall be spanked very well. Sir Ken says, Gabby, I'm wondering what a 9-year-old girl will be doing in a supermarket while she was there with her mother. Says calls for supervision. Someone sent her and she must thoroughly be interrogated. Good afternoon to you. If I were to do business, or if I were to be the business owner, the parents will refund me at least half of the money. It's a pity. If I am to be the parent, I will stop her from going to school. Seriously? Skillful Paris says from a chair. Gold from Pawtucket says, so many learning points. Lighters should not be kept on the shelves anymore, but near points of sale. A standby handy fire extinguisher should be kept near the point of sale door. Quick intervention could have put off the fire. Mrs. Lion is calling from GRA. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Gabby, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So much to learn from this incident. Instead of rather shouting, blaming, confessing, no. Let's bring out the ingredients. Normally, lighters, batteries, these igniting mobile softs, they are always stand at the POS area. They are tenders. That is where they always mount. And to a large extent, most CCTVs you see in some certain environments, they are not there to chase thieves, so they are there to monitor their staffs. That's another problem. Until we go beyond that point of saying security as a day-to-day affairs, that is when we can avert this. Without much say ado, this little girl did not walk on her own. Like the caller said, the latest video that came out now, they saw it. The other sister was smiling. And the mother, they are just, the way they are walking out of the environment, is just like a mission accomplished. A mission accomplished. Well, she is a teenage. She cannot be sentenced to it. But that's what we call vicarious liability in law. The state, on proper filing of this case, if they have a good lawyer, the lawyer will file a case for the state to take responsibility because you cannot punish the child.
Let's wrap up, Mrs. Ryan, so we can wrap up.
Yes. So we also need to put a law, or supermarket owners should also put a law. Children are not longer welcomed. Preventive measures now. Because this is just one of those cases, and one of the reported, we don't know those other kids have done, which we don't know about yet. So supermarkets should put laws. Children below the age 15 are not welcome.
Let's move on to a final caller. Ubong is calling from Woji. You're my final caller, Ubong.
Gabriella, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I think the parents should be blamed in this regard. Because she said she's watching from a movie. If you watch a movie, they say the PG, that's PG 18 and above. A 9-year-old watching a movie that she shouldn't watch. Who allowed her to watch such movie? I want to look at it from that angle. I don't want to look at it spiritual or whatsoever. I'm not a police officer to try to investigate what happened and what did not happen. But I'm looking at the parental guardians here. That's the problem. The parents of these that fail. They are so seriously, they feel they should allow their kids to do whatever they want because they want to please them. And give it to Junior so that he will not cry. If Junior is crying, his blood is coming out from his eye. The person that did that fell. So I believe she was trained because she was watching a movie, and the movie carried her on how to carry that what she did. That was she was watching. People are coming. The same thing that happened in the same movie. The person they did that acted. It was a script written to her, and she acted out of that script.
All right. Parents
allow their kids to watch movies like they shouldn't watch. That's beyond their age. They said, no, let us say. They are very intelligent. They're very smart people. They understand what's going on.
Right.
That she said she watched from a movie, and people are saying spiritual and the pastor's deliverance. Deliverance what?
All right, Ubong, we have to wrap the conversation up at this point, so I'll take a few messages on Facebook. Thank God Atoibu says, after watching what the 9-year-old girl did, I discovered that it was a deliberate attain. Dominic Chikwendo Victor says, she's a child, probably doesn't know her mistakes. She has bad child upbringing. I think they should let her go. When she's 18 years, she can face the consequences. Sabi Boy Jr. says, I keep saying, having enough money for your family needs is not all that borders around proper child upbringing. Parents should be mindful of the kind of movies they let their children watch. On the other part, had it been this footage wasn't shown or brought out, since it's an Igbo owner, the public would have labeled the shop owner a ritualist. Okay, so I'm going to take the rest of the messages on the other side of the hour. I'm going to have to spill this conversation over to right after the news update at 1. So if you obviously haven't had the opportunity to share your thoughts right after the news update at 1 o'clock, I'll be continuing the conversation. But let's just wrap up with what the lady said. The girl, as a matter of fact, the 9-year-old girl. Just take a listen, and then we'll connect to the news update at 1.
Allow you to follow her to that place. On what premise, on what purpose did your mom, were you supposed to pick a shoe that she wants you to size it, or clothes, or what? Why? What was the purpose your mom took you along?
That's my thought for my sister.
Not, I said for you. What in particular did she want to buy for you?
Nothing.
Nothing. Then why did your mom take you along?
We went to the market first before we went to Princess Anna.
What was your do? What were you supposed to do in that place that your mom took you along? Nothing.
Oh, wow.
Then how did you leave your mom?
My mommy was on cold and she was with my sister at the drink station.
So how comes your sister was still with your mom and you left
them? You left them and go and light up the place.
If the other CCTV had come up, the one controlling the camera guys should have seen the position of you and your mom. They would have known that it is your mom that sent you. It was your mom. How do you know that particular section in that place? You used to see it. You see it as well. You see somebody using it there, I mean what? And you see it that what will happen. You see it as what? As instrument of what? You're cooking to your mother.
Good evening, my people. I want to explain what I'm going to do on my
business,
agriculture, politics,
entertainment,
health, and